Thank God it's Friday, and we are truly indeed excited to have you join us on another episode of Enterprise Friday right here on Enterprise Television. I am Henry E.
And I'm Choma Okoye.
So we head straight into our newspaper segments for the morning while urging you to have a say in what we say by following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. You may also like to subscribe and share and visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. With us today in the studios to do justice to all we have on our newspaper and more are Dr. Olayinka Oyebule, an educator and a public affairs analyst, and Barrister Evanson Fedi, a barrister at law and also a public affairs analyst. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thank you very much.
And welcome
Good morning.
to Enterprise Friday today. So let's kickstart our news headlines with the Fourth Daily. And what do we have, Joma?
First daily on our decks is the New Telegraph newspaper. And the big story here, constitutional rights. Supreme Court frees 774 local governments from governor's grip. Grants financial autonomy to councils. And another big story here from the DHQ. Terrorists planning to attack critical infrastructure nationwide. I take that again. Terrorists planning to attack critical infrastructure nationwide.
All right, so let's get into that particular story. And we have it authoritatively that the Defense Headquarters DHQ has said it has uncovered the Boko Haram and the Islamic State of West Africa Province ISWAP terrorist plans to launch widespread attack in different parts of Nigeria. And according to the Director of Defense Media Operations, Edward Buba, he said, we are aware of some of the plans to target some critical infrastructure in the country, and we have in place the measures to forestall such plans because some of such plans have been frustrated already. And let's start off this discussion with Dr. Olayinka Oyebule. We've said so much about this for quite some time now, and every other time we have this discussion, we often have the military come up to say they are in charge of the situation.
Well,
Your take on that, please.
the military is doing its job, but I think rather than raise an alarm and alerting us that so group is planning to do this or planning to do that, what the military should do is to degrade them and also pin them down before the attack is mounted. Because by the time you announce that terrorists are planning to attack this, attack that, you raise the fear in the among the populace. So, and your job, I think, is to diffuse those fears and to make us confident that we have a military that is working. That is not to say that they are not doing enough. I must say they are doing very well. At least, why not for just last week or so when we had those suicide bombers who went to a wedding? We've had a lot of things have come down. However, for the military to be raising tempo that they want to attack this, they want to attack that, I think they should rather keep that within themselves and then organize their ranks to see how to make sure this doesn't go on. Because honestly, I don't understand their motive sometimes.
But sorry to add to that,
Yeah.
there's a slogan that is among the security personnel. If you see something, say something. If they don't enlighten the public and tell them something like this is coming up, how do they give them first-hand information to tell them they saw something fishy?
Well, when you see something, you say something. Yes, but there are some level of security officials that it is better for them not to say than to say. I mean, in my own view, when you say that, you are raising people's fears. It's like the president of the country now telling you that he has suspected that there will be hunger in the land. What have you done to mitigate it? So the military should not be the one to be telling us that there are plans to do this. What they should be doing is what they have done, or it is after they have done their own part, then we can be told that, oh, we nullified so number of terrorists and all that. I appreciate that more than for you to always tell me that. For instance, now, if you tell me that they are trying to attack some public buildings, assuming I need to travel, if I were to be living in the area there, and I go to the airport, how do I feel? I won't feel safe. Every move like this, my heart will raise into my mouth. So rather than raise tension, they should douse tension by keeping some of the. Okay, when they tell the populace now, what do you want me to do? To start looking for the terrorists or start arresting people? No, I don't think that should be the way.
All right, the media is the fourth estate, and you can't stop the work of a journalist.
Yes.
If journalism, goes forth to do their investigation and bring up this to the public domain, how best do you think a great security agency like the military could go about striking the balance, accepting that this is a good reportage and at the same time doing their job effectively?
The military in very civilized democracies, even here, the military, they also read the news. The military also accept information from the public. Now, what you refer to as when you see something, you say something, that's not to the military people, it's to the public.
To the public, yes.
The public, when they see, they are supposed to report to the police or the security agency. So that expression is actually directed to the public to help the security agencies work better. That's what it means. It's not for military intelligence. For you to now come and be revealing military intelligence, that's not military intelligence is sacred. It is kept, then they will use it to advance whatever it is, the plan of the enemies are. Okay? It's not for public feasting. Okay? The public, when they see something, they should say something to add to the security intelligence already on ground. Okay? You see, the work of a journalist is pretty much the work of an investigator, because what the journalist is concerned with is fishing out information. And as a department of journalism, they call it investigative journalism.
Yeah.
Even the military, okay, many of the officers you see in the military, some of them are journalists. Some of them are trained as journalists before they join the army.
Yes.
You understand? Some of them are trained as lawyers before they join. And it's the same work they are doing in there. The same work. Trainings, they go for all over the world. They go according to their expertise. You have doctors in the military too. So it's not far-fetched. We've seen situations of journalists in this country, many of them who have used, there's one that went to prison. He went to prison, he was kept in detention. The prison authority, nobody knew he was a journalist.
Yeah.
Fishayo. Yes, he did that. He took a car, a stolen car, like a car that was just, that have no papers, nothing. Drove from Lagos to Abuja and came back with a car, and then told the public that this is how it is. You can actually take somebody's car, go to anywhere in Nigeria, come back with it, and you will not be, you will not be caught. Nobody will harass you. You will not, even if they harass you, just give them money. He was giving them money on the road, or the police were giving them money throughout. Then the last one he did was the customs, where he went and then smuggled rice into Nigeria.
Yes.
And successfully did that, and then came to the people and said, this is it. So you can bring in anything to the country and you can take out anything and nobody will put you behind bars. So these are practical processes he has undertaken. No, when they say Boko Haram hit here, hit there, kill 5 soldiers, then before they kill 5 soldiers, that is just what Fisher is saying. That nobody is safe. There is no security in Nigeria. That's what he's saying. That's the summary of what he's saying. And that is the truth. There is no security, because the criminals are even killing soldiers, let alone citizens.
So how can the military go 10 steps ahead of some of these?
We have said this before. We have said this repeatedly. You cannot police crime in the 21st century in 2024 without technology. We have said it before. And we still vote so much amount of money for defense. So why have we not, improve? Now, just some months ago, the FCT minister cried out that there was no forensic lab in the whole of Abuja. None. Then he donated one. Recently. So if you don't have that, how do you track crime? These insurgencies are using phone. They are calling. They are
registered number.
Yes.
Registered NIN.
They are calling, and you still can't trap them. They are calling. During the when they attacked the train from Kaduna to the railway Abuja. Between Abuja to Kaduna, when they kidnapped some persons, they were using the phones of the victims to communicate. Nobody caught them. The victims, their phones are registered. Their lines are registered. So you are not able to get them. What it means is that if the criminals now use their own phones, will you be able to get them? I mean, they use the phone of the regular people in the society. You cannot get them. So what we're saying in summary is that there's no security in Nigeria. And it's unfortunate. And it's the first responsibility of government. But it's not there. So you see all this one we're talking, go here, talk here, there's food, there's no food, there's scarcity, there's no scarcity. We need to tame the issue of security. If we're able to do that effectively, then the farmers can go to farm, there'll be food. They are connected. It's because there's no security, that's why there's food scarcity. Because farmers cannot farm. And that is why they could attack villages simultaneously and nothing will happen, they will leave. And to also worsen the matter that within the West African coast and across the Sahel, the insurgencies here, when they hit, they join their brothers across the border. Because in those countries too, security is weak. You understand? So within West Africa is very porous because even the security forces you have in most of the West African areas, they are just like the Nigerian police too. You give them what what they call these people, the one in Cameroon, Jandam. Those ones is the only thing they understand is $5. $5. You give them, you move, whether you are the Okada, anything, you cross the border. So the corruption in Africa, West Africa to be specific, is responsible for the porousness of the border and the high rate of crime within that belt.
All right. While we keep our eyes and ears on this particular matter, let's move on to the next daily, and it's coming from the Daily Trust, the newspaper today. And the big story here says Supreme Court verdict. Local councils must now account for own action. That's coming from Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, still on the Daily Trust newspaper, on the top strip, 250,000 naira minimum wage unrealistic, Tinubu tells Labour.
And still on the top strip of the same newspaper, Governor Aliyu assents to law stripping Sultan of power to appoint district heads.
Okay, moving on. Ex-Power Minister Maman remanded in correctional center. Details are on page 20.
All right, let's maybe look into this particular story, Dr. Olayinka. You know, we did say this some couple of weeks back, about the Emirate and the Sultanate issue happening in the north of Nigeria. And now we have it. There used to be a fear that it would not happen to the Sultanate, but right now we're having it. Governor Aliyu assents to law stripping Sultan of power to appoint district heads. Isn't this a gradual shifting from what it used to be before?
Well, you see, this issue of traditional governors dealing with traditional rulers and so on, especially in the northern part of the country under the current dispensation, is one thing I don't understand. I don't understand it because before now, especially under democratic dispensation, we have always thought that traditional rulers, especially northern traditional rulers, are sacred cows until the maelstrom, Sani Abacha came and deposed Dasuki. And you ask yourself, what exactly is the problem? I see it as something that is very, very, would I say, dangerous, especially now. You know, under the military have that power to coerce and do all those things. But in a civilian, under a democratic nature of government, you know that even those who are not very, very concerned, what do I mean? The South, the upstart in Lasso, the Morik man, is the one crying more than the bereaved. He's the one that is making statements, they should not remove the head of the Muslims in the Nigeria and all that and so on. Even the northern Muslim community, they are not as vociferous as he is. And for me, that looks like there's more to what is going on than what is being said. The Morik man might be looking at it from the religious perspective, but those who are directly concerned may have their own reasons. So now, the state governor has assured, he has even told the vice president, indirectly insulting, that the vice president should investigate before making any claim. You know, the vice president sometimes talked about it, and the state government replied it and said there was nothing like that. But with this action now, it means that there's something ongoing. And I also want to view it it's a long time I've been to Sokoto, so I may not be able to talk about the political tempo there. But from afar off, from what I've read, the Sultan doesn't seem to, is greatly apolitical. He's not one of those traditional rulers who speak anyhow on politics and so on and so forth. So I believe he has his own way of talking to political leaders. When they go wrong, he doesn't go to the media. So what exactly is the governor trying to achieve? Rather than face the issue that is of major concern to the citizens, issue of security, issue of food, issue of daily survival and all that, is the Sultan in any way posing any threat to this? I don't think so. The man should face what is voted to do and leave the traditional ruler alone, unless he can prove beyond reasonable doubt that the Sultan is a problematic, is posing any problem to his administration and to the survival of the state.
Thank you. Can we hear from you, Barrister Ofe?
Well, if you look at that axis of the country, the controversy there is one that one cannot really pinpoint what exactly the problem is. I know that the northern part of the country is the only part of the country where you have two foreign political systems. You know, the Sultan came to be as a result of the Islamic revivalist movement in 1803, which means that system, it was after the jihad that conquered the northern part of Nigeria. They installed the Akali court, installed the Islamic law. It's foreign, we should not forget. It's foreign.
Oh, yes.
Then the governorship system too, where you have a governor of a state, you have a House of Assembly, you have, is also foreign.
Mhm.
You understand? I don't know whether that is why there's always a squabble, because when you look at the South, you hardly find governors reducing the powers of traditional rulers in the South. You hardly find it. We had it in Lagos State from time, but not Southwest, not serious. And some other part not. I don't know whether that's the reason. I just wanted to trace the history. But for me, the Sultan is a highly respected spiritual authority. Okay, it's one that should be respected no matter what. Politically, it's not. It does not contest elections. But I also know that sometimes the problem is that the Sultan supports some politicians and don't support some. This may not be unconnected with the Sultan's choice, because if you look at the history proper, you discover that the person whom the Sultan supported didn't win. Now, when the one he did not support now wins, that one begins to think about how he's going to start to reduce
His powers.
yes, to punish or to do whatever it is. In politics, there's a lot of vengefulness in it and all that. So for me, I think the authority of that office should be preserved. It's what they have come to accept. It's what they have been practicing for ages. So it doesn't make sense that because the office of the Sultan is actually placed under the local government of a state. It's actually under the local government. Yes. So, and then the governor have that authority to bamboozle whoever it is within that line. It's not different from what is going on between Fubara and the.
But that's just about to change.
It's not different.
Turn on me. That might start changing.
It's not. And then the Sultan too should, as much as possible, be neutral when it comes to politics. Even though it's the politicians that will still go to him for blessing, they will still go to him for support, they will still go to him for everything. But when it turns out like he's giving one professional treatment, and they will start to create problems. So maybe the Sultan should stop seeing, if it's possible, I don't know, stop seeing politicians and just focus on the office and deliver on what the office is and all that. That's what I think.
But the problem is that if the politicians are campaigning and they say they want to visit him, and he says no, they will also
It's another problem. Well, I just sincerely hope that what used to be a political, homogeneous nature of the North would not slowly, start breaking up, with what we are having, especially coming from Kano and now in Sokoto State. Choma.
Yeah, I want to say a very big thank you to our barrister, Philip, and Dr. Manika. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Awesome.
When we return, Supreme Court affirms financial autonomy for local governments, declares caretaker committees illegal. That's in the moment. Please stay with us.